Hello and welcome to another episode of Kill James Bond. I am November Kelly. I am joined, as always, by my friends Abigail Thorne and Devon.
Vroom vroom!
Cowabunga! It's happening. It's still going. There's more of these.
It's going. Life's rich pageant just fucking keeps on rolling.
Baby. Let's go.
Let me tell you, as much as we
baby.
came into this with high energy, I have some thoughts about Furious 7, the 7th Fast and Furious movie, if you don't count some of the side projects. Because,
which we don't.
Not least because there are another 5 of these if you don't count some of the side projects.
Jesus.
Okay, so there's Furious 8, then Hobbs and Shaw, then Furious 9, 10, and then there's one coming out this year or next.
Cool.
This
Fantastic.
one was alright. This one I think is one of the... it was okay.
Okay.
I feel sort of the opposite in that I feel like this is a bit like the insect protein bars from Snowpiercer.
Mm-hmm.
It is film. It is
Functionally,
a
it
film.
works.
It is something that you can watch. And I have to be honest, right? I give these things like the close reading. I pay attention. I'm taking notes. I'm not on my phone for all of them. But, you know, and this isn't a bonus episode, so I'm not going to like jerk myself off about being a serious film critic or whatever. But like, for me watching this, there was just nothing here.
I don't know. I enjoyed parts of it. I can imagine watching this on a plane or, you know, with some friends and a takeaway. Like, it's good fun. And I think it's actually better than the last one. And there's some bits of it that are, like, technically quite impressive.
The last one. It's the same as the last one.
It is, but it's iterating. It's improving in some
It's
ways.
the last one. And throughout, they keep being like, this is the last one. And it's like, no, it isn't, motherfucker.
It's
I
like,
know
the
you
family
keep going.
faces another threat from a British man who's trying to kill all of them. It's like crazy. No, because the
It's
thing is,
awful.
right,
It's awful.
I don't object to formula, right? You know the tweet about Surf Dracula, right? Back in the day, if there was a show called Surf Dracula, you would have seen him do like sort of like new adventures every week. Now there's a movie, he touches the surfboard at the end, right? So like, clearly I am in favor of some formulas, but the point of a formula is that you have some constants and some variables, you know? Like, I get out of like Knives Out and I'm like, cool, one of those every year for the rest of my life, please, and thank you, right? But this one, it's all the same. Everything is the same. They made this one almost back-to-back with Fast 6. It was going to be the same movie. It should have been the same movie because it is the same movie. It
is Fast 6 2, for sure.
But this one has Frank Transporter in.
Yeah, it does. And you know who it doesn't have? Is it doesn't really have Paul Walker.
It has bits of Paul Walker,
Much like a sort of like school zone in California, signed for 45 that his friend was doing over 100 in. It has bits of Paul Walker scattered across it.
Yes.
But not in any way that you could say cohesive.
This is the one that Paul Walker died partway through filming.
During the production of,
And honestly, like, part of the reason I kind of... we'll get to the ending later on, but part of the reason I kind of respect this is, like, to have one of your lead actors die literally halfway through the filming process, have to take 6 months off, and then, like, not only manage to come back, but manage to make a coherent and pretty decent film at the end of it, that's actually quite impressive, like, as a filmmaking achievement.
I think you could take the opposite view, which is if one of your lead actors dies and it ends up not impinging on the movie, how vital was it for them to be alive in the first place?
Oh, no, I think that's harsh.
Well, my statement on the last movie was that it wasn't vital for him to be alive during that, and it really wasn't particularly vital for this one either. Like, the Fast and Furious series wanted him dead 2 movies earlier. Like, they have no idea what to do with him. They have an arc in this one because they know that he's gone, so they can finally do the, like, oh, he's actually going to settle down arc that they wanted to do.
They wrote that
but they wrote that
died.
after. So, like, was he doing the first time around?
I don't know what he was doing in the first draft of the script.
They were gonna give him an extra kid in Fast 12. He was gonna have like another 5 kids.
Mia was just gonna have 2 kids in Fast 8 just over there somewhere, and
because we still can't allow her to be a character.
No,
my goodness, no.
But anyway, we'll get to all of that. You
know who does get to be a character?
Yes.
Okay.
Welcome back to the podcast, Frank Transporter, the Frank Transporter.
Here he is.
Oh, I'm so happy he's back.
Oh, this is my Pope Francis.
Here he fucking is.
Yeah. It's Jason Statham delivering some absolute nonsense. His initial line is that they say if you... I'm not going to do the accent because it's going wrong already. But his line is, they say if you want to see the future, just look behind you.
Do they say that?
That's right.
That's one of the things that they say. That's a very well-known expression in the French-American district of London in which Jason Statham grew up,
Yes.
I guess.
Listeners, a while back we watched the Transporter movies, Transporter 1, 2, and 3, starring Jason Statham as Frank Transporter, the Frank Transporter. He is not playing the same character in these movies, but we've decided that he is. And therefore, this is Frank Transporter, who is, we also decided, this wasn't in the script, gay, asexual, and transgender, and in a gay relationship with a French detective.
That is absolutely correct.
And I have called him Frank Transporter throughout all of my notes.
I will never call this man Deckard Shaw. Are you fucking kidding me?
From Blade Runner? No, absolutely
Blade
not.
Runner? Fuck off. Yeah, there's two layers to this. Number one, there's the movie, and the movie is really bad and really fascist, and we'll talk about that.
Yeah.
And then there's what I would like to call the hallucination layer in between that movie and me, and that's where everybody's trans, mask, and gay, and that's Frank Transporter.
Yeah,
A lot of sort of like third-party films you buy are just regular Kodak with the hallucination layer removed. So, yeah, they say if you want to see the future, just look behind you, says Frank Transporter. And
watch Fast and Furious 6.
He's saying this in the hospital room of his brother, Owen Shaw. The family got
they threw him off a plane in the last movie and fucked him up.
And he landed from that plane in a hospital. And the pull-out sort of reveal here is that Deckard Shaw, because he's like more dangerous, has Frank Transporter because he's more dangerous.
So scared for a second now.
Has like sort of violently martial arts, karate, MMA'd his way past a bunch of SWAT guys into the hospital room.
This is pretty sick. This is like a pretty sick... It's made to look like a one-er. It's not actually a one-er. You can see the joins in a couple of places if you know what to look for, but it's made to look like a big, long one tracking shot as we pull out and he leaves the hospital and like there's people beaten up and there's people shot and like stuff's on fire and stuff's falling over. And it's like, it is actually quite a sick reveal. I do quite like it. It also tells us that Frank Transporter has been radicalized by the attack on his brother, because one of the things we liked about Frank in the Transporter movies is that he doesn't kill people. Now he does. He gives a guy a grenade.
Yeah, apart from that one pilot for no reason.
Yeah, he broke that pilot's neck for no reason,
Yeah, we only ever saw him shoot up a cunty hospital. We've never seen him shoot up a normal hospital. For normal people,
Normal
hospital.
I will say, shooting your way into your brother's hospital room purely to tell him to get well soon and then shooting your way back out is like a joke a medium successful podcaster would tell about the IDF.
But also, like, this is what you have to do when you're transgender, because they won't let him in. Because they're just like, well, we only have your dead name. You can't be this man's sister.
Yeah,
like,
he's got a sister. I don't know.
This is just how you've got to get it done on the NHS. You've got to shoot your way into the hospital and out again. I had to do this when I got my Orky. Not that I've ever had an Orky, listeners. My balls just did that.
They left.
They were never there.
Yeah. The thing about this guy, and the reason why I'm so happy to just assume that this is Frank Transporter is because Deckard Shaw's excuse for being in the movie is just as nonsensical as if it was Frank Transporter, right? This is an English guy whose brother is the Welsh antagonist of the previous movie.
Yes.
There's like, where did they grow up? Shropshire? Come on.
The Welsh French American district of Shropshire,
exactly.
Of London, Glasgow, Russia, where the last movie was set.
We grew up exactly equidistant between Port
Shropshire,
Albert,
the 33rd borough.
Sheffield. Which I guess
they
is
grew up in the
Manchester.
same place the Rock's accent went to after the first one of these movies he was in.
You're commuting back and forth. Zone 6, Swansea.
Zone 6.
He does he does commit murder with a grenade at this point.
He does. Yeah, he has been radicalized, certainly. But we go from him to our protagonist.
Yeah, from one kind of nonsense aphorism to another, because we go to our boy Dom Toretto, Vin Diesel, who says, and I'm still reeling from, they say if you want to see the future, just look behind you. We then get, the road is about where you've been and where you're going.
Yes.
Which some would say...
Dominic ChatGP Toretto?
Some would say those are the two aspects of the road unless there's a junction.
That is a broadly accurate description.
What if you reach a roundabout, Dom?
Yeah, that's true. Driving instructor Dom Toretto. The roads... The road is about where you've been, where you're going, checking your mirrors.
Yeah.
And a couple of other places. but he's trying to remind...
When I was learning to
Yes,
drive, right, I my instructor always got mad at me for never checking my mirrors, and I'm like, because that's not where I'm going, you know, that's where I've been.
A quarter mile at a time.
That's right, I do, and I'm not focused on the past, and that's whoever's driving behind me's problem.
Yeah,
you know. But apparently they don't let you get a driver's license if you drive.
Yeah,
that
I've
way.
replaced my rear view mirror with a big like angel view thing that just says no regrets, and I'm not even thinking about it. Why would I want to look back? But he is attempting to Lety, Michelle Rodriguez, his lavender wife of many, many years. She lost her memory quite recently. We all had a lot to say about that.
Amnesia subplot. Yeah.
He's trying to get her memory back by taking her along roads that she'd be familiar with and to a location.
It's like, do you want to remember the sort of funniest thing that happened in any of the previous movies? Maybe that would jolt your memory.
I can't believe they brought this back
to a location that they would be familiar with.
In 2015, she's like, "Where are we going?" And Vin Diesel turns to her and like says, facing the camera, "Race wars."
He also implies that they founded Race Wars, the two of them.
Race Wars, we invented it. I'm like, I don't think you should have done that. I wish you didn't.
I didn't think the Latin Americans did that.
Dominic, Dr. Yakub Toretto.
Just as bold, but a bigger head.
Race Wars. Also, can we like? I mean, I can't. I guess I can't really talk, but like, listen. Vin Diesel used to be able to move the muscles in his face, and in this movie he kind of can't.
No,
and I'm
not
like,
hugely.
You can see the exact kind of thermocline between Fast 6 and Fast 7 when they all got surgery.
They all, like, he's not the only member of the cast who's looking different. And I will say, like, there's various moments in this movie where Paul Walker's face is CGI'd on account of the fact that it was a body double and they CGI'd his face on. But also, that's actually quite helped by the fact that there's several members of the cast who got plastic surgery between 6 and 7. So everyone's already looking a little bit weird.
Yeah, it's very strange. But so he takes her to Race Wars to try and restore her memory. This does give us the fastest time to like midriff and ass shot.
Yeah, we're doing the meat market thing again,
it's
and
as
it's as
worse
bad
as
as
it's
it's
ever
ever
been.
Minutes in.
Like,
and there
worse.
is in fact a specific shot that is just for upskirting the race announcer. Like that's a whole setup, like setting up a camera and lights and everything, and like makeup on the ass, which you do have to do whenever you see like a woman's ass in a fucking movie. There's always makeup on that ass, right? Because normal people have pimples on their ass. In order to set that up, that must have taken the best part of an hour. And like you've done that effort and spent that money just to get an upskirt shot? Like that, fuck you.
It's and like it's all intercut as well with just like various of women being blasted with hoses and like dancing around, and it's just it's as bad as it's ever been.
There's
crazy.
A lot of extras in the backgrounds wearing Race Wars California t-shirts, which
you never want to be wearing that.
Do I get that?
Gotta be worth a fortune on eBay. Do not get the Race Wars California
next live show costume turning up with Race Wars.
Welcome to Race Wars.
How to get banned from the... I think the Ethical Society would consider us hosting an event named Race Wars London to be broadly unethical.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, the Unethical Society would let us do it.
Oh,
yeah, across the street.
The square in like a different venue that's the same but
like
more
an
evil
venue, yeah.
Yeah, weirdly, they have a really good green room.
The two fought between the different ethical societies.
I would say so. There's also an Iggy Azalea cameo here. I believe.
Shit, I didn't catch that.
And she sort of like lurches out of a trailer and just kind of slurs at Letty, you know? Not the Race Wars kind, just the kind of like, you know.
Shit, I didn't realize that was supposed to be.
I think
maybe it is. Maybe it is. Like they love to do this.
Yeah, because they definitely give her the like, you should know who this is, and be like, yo, edit, you know. In the same way that they had like Rita Ora in London.
First things first, I'm the realist.
That's true. That's so true. She's in the murder business.
She's.
But so Lety like races a guy with Dom's advice, and she
wins.
She wins.
Yeah, she wins, and she kind of has like a like moment while she's driving where we're not told this yet, but she gets a little like montage where like stuff starts coming back, you know?
But she gets scared by the crowd afterwards, and she lashes out. She punches a guy in the face and then flees.
This is the healing power of race wars, you know?
It is.
Certainly is.
And then we get Paul Walker doing the same joke that Frank Transporter did in Transporter 2, where it's like, oh, the big dramatic driving, but then he's actually just doing the school run.
Or that The Rock did in The Pacifier. What was that?
Yes.
Cuts in on his fucking shoe pushing the pedal again.
Yeah.
There's his Converse. We got a comment. We actually got a comment on the previous one just being like, what's wrong with Converse?
Default shoe.
Not much, man.
Shoe.
Yeah.
Just like I went to the shoe store and said, one pair of shoes, please. And they gave me the Converse All-Stars.
There's nothing wrong with it if you're
strictly
straight,
wrong.
but obviously if you're gay, you're wearing Vans.
Nothing strictly wrong with it. It's just like, you know, do you have a prom date lined up or what? Like, you're probably concerned about that.
It's the shoe that's assigned to you, you know? And like reading from bottom to top, it's the Converses, the like khaki cargo shorts, the green Triforce t-shirt, you know? Like,
God. No, to be fair, if you've got the Converse that are like thigh-high Converse that have laces all the way up, that's fucking cunty.
That's well, you're back.
Then you are posting the e-girl engagement stuff. Like, would you date a trans girl with like 3 billion likes? You know?
Yeah, and that, you know, that's valid.
Yeah,
you know what?
and we're all in the
money.
Replies being like, yes,
yes,
send
queen.
address, queen.
Yeah, and like, I told you last week we're already dating.
We are embarrassing ourselves by earnestly replying to e-girl tweets in 2026. We're asking them how their day went.
I love earnestly replying.
I'm not embarrassing myself. I'm just making my partner feel good.
Suck.
Like showing up at work, you know, being like, hey, hope you're having a good day.
Hey, Dave.
Yeah. Hey.
Did you rate any good dicks today?
Yeah, shit.
Paul
I mean,
Walker.
like, they've got to have seen some good ones. Yeah, he's doing the school run.
He's
in a
dropping
minivan.
off his kid in a minivan, and the teacher, the like hot female teacher, is like, you don't seem like the minivan type. Which presumably means that Mia is like they have the minivan. He doesn't know where the door button is, so it's his like first time driving it, despite the fact that his child is however many years old a child is when they have to start going to school. She used to race cars. Where's like
God knows.
Also,
but it's woman shit though, isn't it? Like,
yeah, it is. Yeah,
real time capsule. Like in that this was 11 years ago. No one's the minivan type now because everyone got polarized into driving SUVs. There's not really
now they're all driving the fucking Rezvani that The Rock was driving in the last one. It's like, you'll get used to it. Don't worry.
I love when my mum comes to pick me up from school and she's wearing the like DSS body armor. Like
Race Wars, California. I'm in the Rezvani.
Mom, can you come pick me up from
roll up
Race
into school
Wars?
like, get it now. Just drop off, get as fast as fucking possible. Again, he's doing the like Paul Walker. They don't know how to characterize this guy. He's just looking at everyone like he's slightly scared and a little confused. Again, it's all he does.
Yeah.
But he drops the kid off and then drives, and we cut to Lety, who is visiting her own grave.
Yeah.
I think this is the closest a woman has come in this franchise to being a person. Is this scene
right? I was going to say
where
that.
Lety's standing in front of her own grave and Dom comes to visit her and Lety says, I need some time away from you, Dominic Toretto. I need to go and figure out who I am as a human being, as a person on my own, separate from you, because I can't be with you right now. I need to be an independent human being. And I'm just like, this is the closest a woman has come to like sapience in these like 7 movies.
Dom is like, I'll destroy the gravestone with a sledgehammer or
He
something.
does do that,
and
yes.
she goes, no, because it's true. Letty did die then. I'm a different person. I don't even remember all the same stuff. Like, this is broadly accurate.
Because I was force-femmed by Sigourney Weaver in that movie, The Assignment, when I was Frank Kitchen, and then
she probably doesn't even realize that she was Ahmed.
I do like that Dom
Stealth
is
against
willing
herself.
to sort of escalate to a grave desecration out of nowhere.
Yeah, and he says, I should have done this a long time ago. She's like, no, you shouldn't.
Letty is the most stealth any trans woman has ever been. Even she doesn't fucking remember.
Stealth.
Waking up in the hospital, like, whose pussy is this? But like, the other question, I guess this is getting back to the like church deconsecration from Die Hard 3. Is it still desecrating a grave if nobody's in the grave? Like, is that allowed?
Answers on a postcard, please.
Answers on a postcard. I guess Letty saying don't do it is the closest you'll get to being no. But if she wasn't there, yeah.
I guess like reasoning on this, like doing sort of deductive philosophy, if like smashing up an empty grave with a sledgehammer, it's got to be kind of like running in one of those weighted vests that gets you like gets like armed police called on you.
Yes.
It's not wrong, but the sort of confusion that it causes leads you to the apprehension that it might be, you know?
Counterpoint, you can't desecrate the tomb of the unknown soldier even though there's no one in there.
I think we between us we could desecrate. Oh,
that's my point, is that you can desecrate that even though there's no one in it.
No, there's someone in it. It's just unknown.
Is that?
Like, that's the point. It's just some guy.
I don't know.
Like, they never identified the unknown soldier. That's why he's unknown, yeah.
Oh, but is he meant to be a stand-in for all the unknown soldiers, or is he just the only one they don't know?
Certainly has become that,
yeah. But like, he is also a guy in himself.
So really a guy in there?
Didn't know that.
Yeah, there's a guy in there.
Cool.
They like picked one of like 4 coffins at random, like of like unidentified soldiers. No known to God.
We should find out who that is.
Yeah, get Bones on this. Bones.
Bones from Bones.
Take this unknown soldier storage.
What do we do with the other 3?
Just
chuck them out. Fuck them.
Basically, like
put them in the tomb of the known soldier.
Desecration is not a real crime.
Getting a knockback at the audition for unknown soldier, just like, sorry,
no.
You know, we really liked you, but
we love you. We love you. Yeah, love me less, hire me more.
Anyway, once you find out where the unknown soldier's dad is, you know, it's like, oh yeah,
fucking
course.
Yeah.
We got to set up the next character, which is The Rock. The Rock is working late.
He's working late, he's still wearing the fucking Under Armour in the office.
He is.
I like that every movie he's in, his goatee gets slightly shorter until it will be gone. It's like asymptotic facial hair. It's very funny.
They're also clearly a little bit self-conscious about the fact that he's wearing the Under Armour tank top in the office, because he goes, oh yeah, all this work I've been doing chasing guys who are not Dominic Toretto or Owen Shaw means I get to like work out so much more often in the office.
Yeah, he's like wiping away sweat at the desk when you see him.
He's got like a towel.
Okay.
Elena is there. Elena, the Brazilian cop that Dom briefly fancied. And basically like The Rock kind of buys her a bus ticket out of the series.
He seems to, yeah.
Yeah, he gives her a letter of recommendation for something. We never really find out what this is, but whatever.
It's called the Avengers Initiative. No, it's called Being in Other Movies.
Mm-hmm.
But as he walks back in the office, Frank Transporter is like, he forgot to press Windows key and L, and he's on his computer.
He's using his computer, yeah.
Windows L.
To Google who is Dominic Toretto and where does he live. The Rock gets some more fucking smarmy ass lines. He's like, you just earned yourself a dance with the devil, boy. And it's like, yeah, sure.
Boy.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then we do get a pretty sick fucking fight between Frank Transporter and The Rock.
How many panes of glass can you shove a man through? A question first asked by Police Story and really continued by this.
I don't know, but the 90-degree tilting the camera choke slam through a glass table is a pretty fucking cool shot. I'll give the director that. It's a
pretty cool shot that they then reuse about a minute later when The Rock, getting his ass beat, goes for the office sink gun from No Time to Die.
Smart.
If we remember this bit, a key part of personal security is keeping a gun taped to the underside of like your kitchen sink, or in this case, the office coffee table.
Smart. Yeah, just in case there's like an argument at work or something like that.
Yeah, just keep a loaded firearm in the office.
Just in case you need to conduct a workplace shooting.
Yeah.
The KJB studio is like lousy with them. If you ran an electromagnet over KJB towers, you get like more guns than like a West Australian gun buyback scheme. It's like bad. Anyway,
this is pretty cool, and also like I will say this: we already knew this from the Transporter. Like Jason Statham's fucking good physical actor. Like he's fighting in it. He's a fucking good martial artist. And it is very funny to see him do a bunch of like high kicks and shit on The Rock, because it's like watching somebody punch a buffalo.
It's really good. The thing is, it's like they're making money with it.
It's so big, it's not doing anything.
It's really good. He's just not really selling it. It's the thing is that the franchise is popular enough now that like it's making money, so it's got a director. They got a real director for this one.
The guy who did some of the Saw movies.
Yeah, the guy who did Insidious and the Saw movies. And they've got real choreographers. So like the granular details like this, very well done. Overall, this movie is evil, and we'll get into that more and more later. But like individually, good scenes, great fun.
It's well made. Anyway,
we do also find out, by the way, that like Frank Transporter, before he has like had to fight The Rock has learned Han's location, Tokyo, Japan. This is also where we get a shot of Han's full name, which is Han Seoul-o, like Seoul, like the
Seoul,
capital of South Korea, and O,
Is
like
it
the
actually?
Korean surname.
Yeah, it says that on the file.
Yeah.
I didn't notice that, but that is quite funny.
I've written, fuck off. The thing, okay, I'm sorry, I've just seen a screen cap. Jason Statham is not a very tall man. He's
No. And The
Against
Rock is a very
He's like
tall man.
5'11".
sure, but yeah, okay, fine.
Wait, how tall is The Rock?
He's
Rock-
like 17 feet
The
tall.
Rock is like 8
if
feet
The Rock
tall.
were a
The
fire
Rock is
truck, he would be the biggest one. Like
the mountain that right, he's the biggest one in the world. But yes.
The Rock is 6'5". Okay, that's why Jason Statham looks.
Yeah, he's got a good 6 inches on him. Like,
Yeah.
I'd
love to see that. Anyway, so we cut now across to Jordana Brewster's got a fucking brief scene in this. Here she is.
Because the fight ends because like Frank Transporter's deal is he has bombs, right? So he blows up the office to get away and injures The Rock, who like is blown out of a window, saving Elena, who has just wandered back into the office to be like, damn, wonder what all that gunfire's about.
Yeah, like, are you shooting in here? What's happening?
Yeah.
They hit that car so fucking hard. I've just written dead. Like, there's no way.
Yeah,
There's
easily,
literally no
easily.
fucking way.
The Rock is hamburger at this point. The Rock has been eroded, like glacial drift.
He's gone. He's again all over the ground out now, but maybe Elena's fine. Hopefully.
Yeah.
We cut across to the Fast and Furious house. I also got some angry comments about this because I offhandedly referred to this. I guess I didn't put enough respect on how much money it would cost to live in this house in Los Angeles. Sorry, it's an expensive house. But it gets blown up in this scene, right?
It does.
It does. So Paul Walker's doing the school run again, and Mia and Dom are having this scene where they're like, he's struggling with civilian life. And just in case, listeners, you thought that they were going to give Mia a character now that she's had her baby, she's like, I'm going to have another one. I'm pregnant again.
I'm
Let's just doing that again.
Yeah.
Like,
It's a girl this time. And they're
fucking
like,
hell.
cool.
Yeah, great, okay.
And she is worried that Paul Walker will resent her for making him settle down and do family life. Which I think is a discussion to have before you have the first child, and certainly before you have the second one.
Like you could have not had that child. Remember how you didn't have that
using
discussion?
protection?
She's very much like, I don't want my sort of man-child husband to be mad at me because he has to take care of another kid, which really is sort of like a...
Yeah, what the fuck?
Women should not have to worry about this. I would say that is your husband's problem, you know?
Yeah, they're not even married.
Yeah, and again, there's no pushback on that. Like, he is just a man-child, and like he becomes okay with it at the end, and that's his like arc.
He's still like, he's not going to be able to play with cars anymore, and as he has told Dom, he has like the kind of PTSD where he doesn't miss the cars, which is happy because they're barely a part of this movie, but he does miss the bullets, right? He misses the danger. And so he's sort of like, he's seeking that out again. Also, everyone looks 10 years younger than the last one, which is...
Yeah, I will say, Mia Toretto looks great. Don't know
famously
what she's
having
done,
kids just like takes years off you, you know?
She looks fantastic.
Yes, she looks fine.
Very different than she did before, but like still great.
Okay, yeah,
that's like a different person's face, but it's a good one.
Yeah, she looks different, but just as good.
I can't fucking talk about that. Like, you know.
Speaking of a different person's face, Paul Walker is spending most of his time with his back to the camera, you know. But so the family's 9/11 happens 14 years after America,
because they've got a big package on the doorstep from Tokyo, and they like mention it once at the start of the scene. They're like, "What's Han sending me now?"
Han.
Right?
Yeah.
And then when they're like halfway down the staircase to the car, Dom gets a ring on his phone, and it's Frank Transporter from the post-credit scene of the previous movie, and the 3/4 mark scene from Fast and Furious 3, where Han eats shit and dies. To be like, I did this, by the way, and I'm coming for you.
Yeah, just to situate you in the timeline, Tokyo Drift has now happened.
Tokyo Drift is happening right now as this phone call goes through. Which is okay.
So so Frank Transporter is calling him on a flip phone. Yes.
Okay.
And it's just like, I just murdered your friend who was hanging out with an alarming number of high schoolers. really kind of doing the world maybe a favor there.
And they blow up Dom. They blow up the family's house.
He does blow up the family's house.
Holy shit!
This is when they find out also that that Hobbs has been injured, right?
Yeah.
Because they go to the hospital and Elena's there, and she says the first thing he said was, "Get me Dom," like a submissive pirate.
Yeah, I wrote the first thing he says was, "Get my Dom." And I was like, "She's on her way. Don't worry, it's happening."
Getting the sort of paramedic Dom, like they're rocking up in the like fast car or the motorcycle before the ambulance.
They're trying to get me, like I'm lying half unconscious. They're trying to like rouse me just so that they can learn who my Dom is, so that they can ring them. Like,
it's on a medic alert bracelet. You know, like I've got a number on the collar they can call. Like, I mean, this is as we see later in this movie, a bit of Domming is more effective first aid than CPR.
Yes, that's very true.
Yes,
seeing
we
one
see
of those
that.
like motorcycles that has urgent blood on it, but it says urgent cum.
Urgent Dom, the Dom bike. Shit. Okay.
Cum delivery now. The Rock in the hospital bed looks comical. This is the biggest man in the world. Yes. And I can't help but notice this must now be the era where he can't look weak in a movie, because he's like semi-propping himself up and like flexing both biceps every time the camera's on him. Like,
well, he wants to look good for his Dom.
Also, Elena says he's broken his collarbone, and then it's like, no, he hasn't. He's like, his collarbones are fine. There's nothing wrong with it. Like this fucking Scorpion King ass motherfucker. But anyway, Dom walks in and he says the line, "You risk life and limb to save the free world, and this is what they get you." And I'm like, Dom's really come around on cops.
Yes.
Considering how much he hated them in the first movie, right?
Once we figured out that they were also a kind of family, it was fine.
How the fuck does Hobbs still have a job after all the illegal shit? Like, he threatened a member of NATO in the last one, like, and before that he murdered Brazilians. Like, what the fuck?
This all takes place in kind of the long Trump administration, I think.
Okay.
But the thing that really gets me here is, and this is I think the ultimate condensed like fantasy that makes this dad slop, is Hobbs has a daughter, right?
Yes.
Whose role in this movie, taken analytically, is to materialize in the room, hype up her dad as like the coolest motherfucker in the world, and then leave, like get ushered out of the room.
Exactly.
Is this a producer's kid or something?
I don't know. I don't know. I think it's just meant to make Hobbs relatable to Dom. It's like he also cares about family.
He's got a kid, he's got a family, and also all the producers at this time, they all have like young kids too. So they're all like, what do you think about it? The most important thing in the world is having a young kid.
Because they get to gas you up. Like when your kid tells your friend, my dad could beat you up, and that friend is not allowed to like contradict your kid, that's what it's all for.
I'm contradicting your kid straight away. So
well, Dom basically does as well, which is
Dom's just like, if you watch the documentary Fast and Furious 5, I actually won that.
Roll back the tape. I think
the other thing that the daughter does is give Elena a reason to leave the scene, because Elena, again, within childcare, like, is the one who takes her out of the room.
And then we can just have the man-to-man scene that we all wanted to have in the first place.
Frank Transporter. He's gay, he's asexual, he's transgender.
Oh, he's the toughest man in the world. He's like,
so scary.
He raw dogged a Ukrainian woman in the back of a car once. He's gay. He's with a French detective. He lived in a lighthouse.
Yeah, you think you had a bad time with the last British guy. Well, this British guy is even tougher than the previous one.
He's even more British.
He looks kind of like Abby's brother a little bit in some ways.
It's interesting as well. They do a bit of kind of like alienation here, where it's like so Frank Transporter and his brother were both like deniable black ops assassins on behalf of the British government as like a kind of necessary evil thing. And then the British government like lost control of them, tried to send guys to assassinate them. It didn't work. And since then, Frank Transporter has been like out in the world, just frankly transporting things. And I'm like,
so this means, so this movie takes place in 2015. And that means that like this Black Ops assassination program was happening under David Cameron.
Yeah, David Cameron was like, we need to kill Frank Transporter. It's
Okay.
First of all, it's
Okay,
funny. It's funny
yeah.
enough to imagine the British government wanting to spend money on anything, let alone necessary evil assassins. But
Yeah, exactly.
also, that's the thing that the Americans were doing predominantly at the time that this movie was made. But they don't want to own that. And as we'll see, the way this movie treats the CIA, it's like no, it's like the British do the kind of assassination stuff. We're just around.
Remarkable thing, it was Nick Clegg actually in the coalition government. He was the one that was really pushing for killing Frank Transporter. Yeah.
Wow.
So, and all they had to do is tighten benefit sanctions.
5p plastic bags. Tighten benefit sanctions.
Baby.
An
Kill
end
this
of
guy.
conference trades, bags for life, and the death
and
of Frank
kill Frank
Transporter.
Transporter.
Kill Frank Transporter.
Because here's the thing. I think a lot of people feel betrayed by the Lib Dems on a couple of reasons, right? They said they weren't going to introduce tuition fees, and then they introduced tuition fees and put up tuition fees. They said they weren't going to kill Frank Transporter, and then they tried to kill Frank Transporter. It's just this is really kind of typical like coalition stuff.
I know, and it's so fucked up because I remember the debate where Clegg was on stage being like, "I will not kill Frank Transporter. I won't do it either way."
Yeah, I remember like going to protests where it was like, people
You
having
said
their,
you weren't gonna kill Frank Transporter.
They're like EMA is getting cut and they're killing Frank Transporter.
Yeah. I remember when you started your YouTube channel because they tried to kill Frank Transporter.
I did. That's exactly why I did it. Yeah.
Just so upset about it. The Rock says the phrase, "They created a monster," which activates my subroutine where I automatically say out loud, because nobody wants to see Marshall known at war. They want Shady on chopped liver. And cause my wife to go, "What?" I'm like, "Don't. It's fine." But
so anyway, The Rock is like, unofficially leave this guy alone. No, officially leave him alone. Unofficially kill him. Let me get that the right way around.
Yeah, officially leave this guy alone. Unofficially get his ass.
Off the record, don't do anything to this guy. It's really fun.
On the record, kill him.
I'm ordering you to kill this guy.
That's what Nick Clegg was saying back in the day.
All right, we're all going to kill this guy. Wait a minute. Don't kill him. Don't just, it's fine. Don't kill him.
No. I'm just saying that. This is how Thomas A. Beckett got.
Special boat service, 1990 to 1999.
They put Mia, Toretto, and the child in a fucking box in the Dominican Republic.
They do.
And
This is
so fucked up. Why isn't this Don Omar or Tego Calderon or something, like one of the guys that we know before? Because they just drop them off in some rich guy's mansion, and it's someone we've never seen before, and it could have been one of our other guys.
Or have it be Paul Walker! You've got an excuse to write him out of the movie! Just be like, actually, I'll do the childcare this time. Mia, you go be in the movie because you're alive!
They had so much footage of Paul Walker, they were like, well, we can't get rid of all of it.
And there's a really weird view of the Dominican Republic specifically here, where this rich guy we've never met before goes, if anyone messes with you here, they're messing with the entire country.
Yeah. I'm Mr. Dominican Republic, apparently.
Yeah. The main guy we've seen mess with the Dominican Republic is Dominic Toretto when he fucking killed Mr. Iguana Man.
The iguana trucker, yeah.
Yeah, when they talk about being in the Dominican Republic, they're talking about doing crimes in the Dominican Republic.
The country that you keep robbing.
But no, they just fucking
also, Brian specifically does not want to go on this mission, and Mia is the one who tells him over his objections that he should leave. She's like, no. Let me do 100% of the childcare again. Go and leave the movie. Be in the movie Fast and Furious 7, Paul Walker. Cool, great.
So he goes to talk to Dom, and Dom says, looks like the sins of London have followed us home, which is me when I get Morley's, then immediately get on a train for Glasgow. They're having this conversation immediately next to like a gorgeous Porsche 356, which laser transported me back to Need for Speed Porsche Unleashed back in the day. So I'm mostly thinking about that for the rest of the movie because it's not that
there's
interesting.
Porsche putting their products in the movie to avoid being blamed for the death of Paul Walker, I guess.
Smart.
Anyway, it's always the one closest to you, the car maker beneath your very nose.
The
Paul
stealth
Walker.
villain of the movie, the Porsche, is in the background like, ha ha ha.
Probably got a bunch of free Porsches the second he died.
Do you know, after Paul Walker got killed, his family sued Porsche and Porsche settled? Like,
Come on, he wasn't driving. His friend was driving unbelievably fast in a school zone and flipped the car and died.
Had to drop off his girlfriend for class. Yeah,
that's what happens when you do that.
Yeah, but I guess Porsche didn't want to do that in court against like a sort of grieving widow or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, this is something that we'll talk about at the end of the
grieving 18-year-old widow.
End of the movie really is that.
Yeah. She can't even get drunk afterwards. She's not old enough.
Yeah. We then get a clip from Tokyo Drift. We get to see Twinkie. Hey, Twink, what's up? We get to see Sean Black. We get to see what's his fucking name? Lucas Black, Sean Boswell.
I
Sean
forgot
Boswell,
his name and called him Foghorn Leghorn in my notes. And the thing is, what they do is they cut from the end of Tokyo Drift to now. And that motherfucker...
we don't see the race between Dom and Sean. Like,
we just get the bit that's before Dom's like cameo in Tokyo Drift, where Twinkie is going, "A guy's here to race you. He said he knew Han," and then we cut.
What we get is a cut that spans 10 years of actual real life time. And Lucas Black has not had plastic surgery. This guy is canonically a high schooler, and this 57-year-old man wanders up to the camera and is like, "Oh,
that must have been a stressful race, man. You look like you've aged 20 years in 20 minutes."
It's like they say in Wages of Fear, like you can you can turn 100 overnight. You know?
He did. Anyway, he's
old.
like, after the last movie, Han died, and here's your iconic cross necklace and a photo of Gal Gadot. And Dom's like, cool, whatever,
I was like,
man.
Thanks so much, man. Thank you.
I'm not going to be in the rest of this movie.
I'm not going to be in the movie. Bye. Hashtag Charlie Kirk. Yeah. I think he really tweeted. I'm not just making fun of him because of his accent. He did really tweet that. He did.
No, he tweeted that. He for sure tweeted. If you want me in the next movie,
anti-trans. We're allowed to make fun of this man.
Let me know so I can get some plastic surgery, please.
There's a sort of errata and addenda thing here where when I was reading his tweets about Charlie Kirk, I got the date wrong, and somebody said, "Did Lucas Black predict the murder of Charlie Kirk?" by calling him a martyr a couple of months before he got shot.
Holy shit.
Holy fuck. Was he in on that?
If you drift just right, that you can drift relativistically and then you can know things before they happen.
He saw every possible future
all
and he came
the
back
blood in his brain went sideways and he knew what was going to happen.
Like a chud Doctor Strange, he saw every timeline.
Dom Toretto and Lucas Black like in a room be like, "One last job," and then Erica Kirk turns around on her chair.
Oh god.
The Doctor Strange, there is one pathway through this timeline thing, and it smash cuts to the Charlie Kirk assassination footage. I'm sorry, it had to happen. That's
the one way through. I'm sorry, it's the golden path.
Thanos, tell me this one thing. Are you including gang violence?
Including or not including.
Snap.
And then we cut to a funeral. It's Han's funeral. This whole sequence will turn to ash when they inevitably bring him back in the next one, where they're like, fuck it, bring it back.
Incredibly funny, Nova, as you pointed out. It's funny that we like had the thing we were just discussing, because one of the guys in the background of the funeral looks exactly like Charlie Kirk.
He does.
He looks
just one of the supporting actors in the background just looks like a fucking doppelganger.
I put a video in the group chat where they pan past and I just go, "Charlie!"
Like a fucking seal when I saw this guy. Oh my god.
It's uncanny. But so there's an evil car surveilling the funeral, and they're like, that's got to be Frank Transporter.
Oh, this is actually a really good bit, actually, because Dom jumps in his iconic Charger and he gives chase. There's fantastic sound editing here. There's no music. There's just like the revs and then beats of silence, and like the sound design here really conveys Dom's like anger and tunnel vision on his desire for vengeance. It's like a really good effective sequence. Again, I think this movie is well made.
I do have one note, which is that they have started using fast motion on the cars again, which I always want to punish heavily as a lack of confidence, right?
Yeah, they're fast enough. Come on.
Frank Transporter is driving a Maserati Quattroporte, which is a great evil car, like one of the evil cars of all time. And we have to express, right, that these men are on some kind of like collision course with each other. So we do this with a really delicate metaphor where they go into the sort of car fighting district.
Yeah, they're driving through Los Angeles and then they hop into a quick tunnel into the sort of car fight area.
The Thunderdome? Yeah,
there's a Thunderdome down there.
They drive at each other on a collision course.
It's a cool shot through a turbine, like again, well made. They play chicken and they just directly crash straight into each other.
Sort of the opposite of chicken, really, like egg, I guess.
Nobody's airbags go off.
Yeah, neither of them are chicken, and also they've all disabled their car's security.
What you
safety
get
equipment.
and they both get out, so you get a kind of combined, like 120 mile an hour car crash that makes your neck hurt a bit. So like
the one where you go like, oh, ow.
Big crunch.
So Dom notices that like Frank Transporter set him up on this because Frank Transporter reinforced his chassis of the car to make his car super tough, knowing that Dom would do a head-on collision, thinking it would kill Dom. And then they're about to have a fight, and then Jason Statham just pulls a gun, and he's like, I'm not gonna.
I love cheating.
I'm not gonna punch you. I'm just gonna shoot you.
Yeah, he goes, well, did you think this was a street fight? Like, what are we?
Yeah. No, I'm going to assassinate.
No, I'm going to shoot
is a murder.
you, bro.
Yeah. You killed my inexplicably Welsh brother.
Yeah.
No, my Welsh brother.
He was raised apart from me over the border, whereas I grew up in the sort of like Shropshire district of London with a heavy American influence.
Yeah. And France.
Yeah.
Glasgow, Russia, Spain. Yeah. NATO. At this point, Snake Plissken enters the movie.
He does, doesn't he? Yeah. Yeah. Then a bunch of guys rappel into the scene.
Kept you waiting, huh?
It's Kurt Russell. And I'm like, oh my God, it's Kurt Russell.
Yeah.
Kurt Russell.
My excitement sort of nosedives as I see, it's Kurt Russell paying off the mortgage. It's Kurt Russell.
Yes, I go, oh my God, Kurt Russell. And then he does fucking nothing in the scene. And I'm like, oh, I see.
I'm always excited to see Kurt Russell.
I'm not, because this is Kurt Russell, sort of on sort of gastric band surgery. He's looking like Zend for one thing. I liked a wider Kurt Russell for one thing.
I like,
but the other is he's visibly not giving a fuck. He's like, okay, yeah, sure, cars, whatever. I'll learn my lines.
I love Kurt Russell's performance in this movie because it makes absolutely no sense at all.
Yes.
And we'll get to this.
That.
But I love that he's giving us totally not what his character is. It's great.
He comes in, he's wearing a black suit and tie, like full black, not grey or anything, like black, like fucking Men in Black type shit. Black sunglasses, slick back hair, and he calls himself Mr. Nobody. And if you are anything over 3 years old, you go, got it. I know what's happening in this movie now.
Yeah.
We'll come back to that.
We've played GTA San Andreas, right?
Yeah. Okay. Makes sense.
He's Mr. CIA man, right?
I'm here to recruit you, and then something will happen. Yeah.
Frank Transporter slips away. And so Snake Plissken takes Dom to his base. We get some Corona product placement, which fucking sucks.
Yeah, he literally, because like his deal is he likes Belgian ale, and Dom is like, I'd rather have a Corona. To which Mr. Nobody picks up the product placement Corona bucket. This is immediately followed by a shot, like side on with the two of them, with two really prominently logoed Dell server racks in the middle. So whatever.
Yeah. Cool. Everyone's getting their fucking money in now. This is a popular. This is why I want to talk about this so much. Unfortunately, is that this is such an important and popular franchise that every company and indeed the world pedophile empire was trying to launder its reputation through this, and they're in it. They're part of it.
Somebody's got to make the monitors.
I use an AOC.
Someone's got to provide the computing.
You use AOC?
Yeah, my monitor is an AOC. Well, what's weird about? Because it's common with the As far as I know, my monitor has never funded arms sales to Israel.
I think mine is Alienware. I don't know what that is.
But so Alienware is a division of Dell now, so you're fucked. You got a nonce monitor. I'm sorry.
Nonce machine.
Shit.
Yeah.
I'm just.
But anyway, Snake Plissken is like, yo, there's a bigger mission going on here because guy we left to see Jimon Hounsou is the terrorist leader.
Yes.
He has kidnapped a mysterious hacker named Gordon Ramsay, who has developed a universal spyware program. We need you to rescue Ramsay. And in exchange, you can use the spyware program to find Frank Transporter. because it can like hack
is...
every camera on the planet at once.
The hunted will become the hunters.
Like from The Dark Knight, right? And also, the other thing about this is, if you remember how the arc of this movie has gone from like, fuck cops, we don't trust cops, to, well, we trust cops, but maybe the cops can have other agendas, right? We trust individual cops, to, well, we trust cops, but the FBI can have their own agenda, to, well, we trust the FBI, but individual FBI agents can be like kind of annoying, to, we trust the FBI, and then we jump all the way to, you know who's cool and you can trust is the CIA.
Yeah, you know what? I love the state. I've actually changed my mind. The state are on our side.
Is the CIA a family? I think so.
I don't know.
I think so. They probably have
now.
like barbecues.
Yeah. Well, now's a good time to like bring up what Kurt Russell's doing here, because, and like Dev, I think you and I are of one mind on this. The way Kurt Russell is playing these scenes only makes sense if like he's going to turn out to be the secret villain later on.
Yes, absolutely.
It doesn't make any sense if he doesn't.
He's so charming and cocky. Like that's why you hire a good actor like Kurt Russell, but then it just never happens. More like halfway through the movie, he just leaves the movie, and I'm like, what happened, man?
Okay. He's just fine.
I want to see the original script before Paul Walker died, because I'm convinced that Kurt Russell was the villain before the rewrite.
They just straightforwardly can trust him, even though he is jerking himself off the whole time.
He's
like
speaking arch and going, ooh.
He's like doing mustache twirling shit, and then he's just fine and normal.
He just has an innocent mustache twirling stim. He's just a completely like trustworthy man and like good friend.
Yeah. It's me, Colonel Red Herring. I'm here to distract you for a little bit.
Resting evil face, you know? Like it's a real tragedy when that happens.
Damn
but
shame.
He's like, your team's already here. We don't need to do it. Assembling the team.
I've taken the liberty of assembling the team off screen.
That is my note verbatim. Is I've taken the liberty of doing your gathering the team montage. It's sort of the Simpsons gag. You know, by popular demand, we will forego our national anthem. Right? Like,
all right. Yeah, let's just get on with it. 4 times
in a row would be a bit too many. So we're like, you know, it's just done now.
Lety's just here now. You might think, oh, did she find herself? Quest? Did she go and do anything?
No,
did she like discover any internal? She's like, no, Dom, I'm ride or die. I'm like, great, cool. I thought we were going to do something interesting for a second.
Yeah, she needed like a 15-minute vision quest, and now she's just totally good.
Off screen,
yeah.
Women exists for men in this franchise.
Roman Pierce remembers stuff we did in previous movies because he's like, yo, it was crazy when we did the thing with the plane. And then it was crazy when we did the thing with the tank.
Yeah,
but now you're telling me that we're going to have to do something that's even cooler than those things.
Whoa.
We're going to attack a convoy of trucks in Azerbaijan where Gordon Ramsay is being held.
Because, of course, the Carmen is the enemy of the trucker.
The truckman,
much like any traditional road, it starts where it begins and it only goes to where it ends. So there's nowhere for them to attack them midway down the road.
The thing about the road is there's 2 things. It's about where you've been and it's about where you're going to. You know?
Yeah.
And Roman's like, we got to attack them at a third place they're not expecting. The place that would be too stupid for anyone to possibly attack us.
Well, so the road is about where you've been and where you're going, but what if we attack them where they is?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
And the sort of like chud tactical guy who should be the kind of henchman villain is like, that's a stupid idea. It's never gonna work.
Yeah.
You can't attack them where they is. Everything we learn in like special forces school says that
you got to attack them where they're going to have been.
Yeah, where they would have was the subjunctive pass.
Yeah, ridiculous. One team's going forward, the other is inverted. Yeah.
The subjunctive pass is what happens when I go to the bathroom and the SS woman glares at me but doesn't say anything. Anyway, so
if you don't get thrown out, you pass, baby.
That's a de facto pass.
I think so. It's like a C-, you know?
It's also, Tej, Ludacris, Q, is just on his fucking phone the entire way through this scene. Because that's what like a cool guy does. That's what like a tech guy does. Is
you can
he's on his phone.
see the kind of influences of the thing that is eventually going to poison the world here of just everybody being on their phones. This is also
that's also why I wanted to talk about the movie.
Both huge victim and huge beneficiary here of the problem we talked about previously, where like 90% of the cast is just standing around for most of the scenes. So Paul Walker can be like with his back turned getting a beer out out of the mini fridge, using stock footage from other Paul Walker movies, he being like doing the Hitler diving out the window thing from Danger 5. Like anytime they go to Paul Walker or he's in a scene, it's like he like, you know, his head is behind this globe that we had in the office.
They had his brother Cody Walker doing like the stand-in for him a lot of the time, so like even easier than that. Like we don't even need to do the facial replacement. We've just got his brother to grow the same facial hair and had him in the background of shots.
That's a little bit beautiful.
Shooting Paul Walker like Muhammad in The Message, where you just have like a really bright light instead of the face, you know?
Yeah. Look, we'll get to that later. It is kind of beautiful. Again, they really liked this guy, so it's very heartfelt. But obviously,
it is very sincere. But anyway, so they get in some cars in a big plane, and they parachute in the cars into the Azerbaijani mountains. It's kind of sick.
Yeah, they're dropping the plane.
Yeah, I mean, there is some stuff in the briefing that I wanted to talk about really briefly, where Paul Walker's only real line here is to bond by like publicly humiliating Roman over like a sexually active woman in high school. He references him going to the prom with No Knees Denise.
Yes, I also wrote that.
I didn't understand the nickname. Why doesn't Denise have any knees?
Because I guess she's
I guess
gonna,
surely you would
like,
use the knees
suck you off.
if you were sucking people off.
Yeah.
I thought she was just like disabled.
No, they're saying
she's
she's easy.
Certainly. But I think it's like, this guy has a problem with a slut.
It's all evil in that what they're doing here is just like dropping a nuke on a random child that they remember.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. The way that women are treated is disgusting.
With a slut? Is that not the goal?
I don't know.
The other thing that I wanted to pull out is that Dom does say this time it's not about being fast.
Yeah,
because it's about being furious. Yo. So the like Cars Intelligence Agency gets them a bunch of like custom cars, loads them onto a plane, and
they're doing an illegal incursion into Azerbaijan.
Yeah, the deal is they're gonna like drop out the back of the plane and parachute in the cars. When they say boots on the ground in Iran, this is what they're sending Trump as briefing material. This is what he thinks they're gonna do.
He's just looking at clips of us and be like, whoa.
Also, for a vision of what happens when you try and do this and don't open the back door of the plane, listen to Well, There's Your Problem.
Yeah. yeah.
But so...
yes, they airdrop the cars in.
The convoy.
Cool.
It's like a pretty cool action sequence.
Kind of
to chase down the convoy.
I love that the convoy has an evil bus. Right?
Yeah,
they're keeping Gordon
Yeah.
Ramsay in this sort of like murdered out sort of black matte paint job bus.
Yeah.
And the deal is if they get Gordon Ramsay to their secret black site, then they're going to torture her for information, and that they're going to get the thing that they need, so they have to do it before then. Not sure why they couldn't torture her on the evil bus, but fascinated by the bus as a kind of mysterious third actor in the Carmen trucker sort of adversarial relationship.
I think it's on the side of the trucks. It deploys miniguns out the sides. It's fucking sick.
Yeah, it's a remarkably armored version of Die Hard 4's like truck wherever all the computers are. Like it's like a mobile command center, but it's got miniguns on every ordinal surface.
This is like you transport Magneto inside of it. Thing.
Yeah, basically.
I think the bus's allegiance is mysterious and negotiable.
It's hard to know. It really is hard to know.
It is.
It seems like they're with the cars here, but
it's hard to say. But certainly with the evil cars, we get a lot of good evil cars in this movie, including like a lot of like Mercedes is with the logo spray painted black,
we do,
which is cool.
Also,
there's a guy on the bus.
There is Tony Jaa from Ong Bak, baby, my fucking boy.
That's right. I'm like, we're gonna see this guy do some Muay Thai. Hell yeah,
baby,
let's fucking go.
That does rock, actually, because they pull the back off the bus and Paul Walker jumps on and has a fight with this guy. Ramsey, the hacker, turns out to be a gorgeous 10 out of 10 smoke show.
Yeah, she's like cool. Kind of like zip tied and wearing a bag over her head and like a cage and like me on an average first date. Just get that, tick that box off the recap. The one thing about the fight scene is I can't fucking see.
No, it's a little
you
too
gotta edit around
confined
the
to
fact
space.
that one of your lead actors is dead.
That is very true, yeah.
Yeah, it's super hard to have a fight scene with someone who you can't film.
Well, I mean, you're already presumably using a stunt double.
Yeah,
but
right.
it's doing a lot of the same stuff as like Fast 5, where it's like lots of fast cuts and it's kind of low light as well.
They do get a cool moment. You know, I love a rotating set when the bus flips on its side. They're fighting on the side of the bus. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it when actors have to do a fight scene in a set that moves and tilts. You know, I think that's fun.
I love a rotating set.
The way that happens, right, is that they do it roughly, I would say, 3 hours of chase here, and then in the course of the fight scene, the guy who has just been placidly driving the bus this whole time gets shot, and like. He was the king of the highway. You know, he was just locked in. And
he didn't even notice. He was just like, had the radio on. He was listening to Scott Mills, oblivious of what was about to happen to Scott Mills.
Well, like, also, they initially like disable the bus with the car PG from previous movies. But then the guy gets shot in the struggle because one of the chase cars behind them, there's a guy who, instead of a car PG, has a regular boring RPG that disables your car by firing an explosive at it. And
boring.
Yeah. It's not as good, I guess.
Yeah, I suppose not.
But as this henchman beats up Paul Walker, he locks him inside the bus as it's about to go off a cliff. Then takes a moment to turn back and go, too slow, and then runs away. And I'm like, Kronstein Rosette for that henchman, hell yeah. But
I think so.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Paul Walker now has to negotiate the end of the Italian job because the bus slides halfway off a cliff and he's stuck in the end. And he's like, why didn't Michael Caine just open the door and parkour it? Is he stupid?
Yeah. He runs over the top of the bus.
Yeah, why didn't Michael Caine just do parkour?
Cool, man. Cool.
Very much
also,
improve it. Yeah.
This is the thing. They keep doing like shit to Paul Walker's character in this. It's like Final Destination. They keep almost killing him, and I'm like, are they about to write him out? Is this the moment where he dies? And then they can raise his stakes, and then nope. They keep not doing it. I'm like,
so Dom has rescued Ramsey, and she's in his car, and they get blocked in on a cliff edge by evil cars like that one.
But who is chasing them before that happens? Because the Frank Transporter rolls up.
We cut across to
involved.
Mr. Nobody, and he goes, "Sir, an unidentified vehicle is approaching the convoy," and we see an armored vehicle approach, and we go, "I know who that is." And this is what he does for the entire rest of the movie. Is just arrive 3/4 of the way through a scene and make everything harder for everybody. And you know what? I do like that.
A lot of sort of like cars bashing into each other, but so
it's what he's good at.
What we end up with is Ramsey is in Dom Toretto's car. Dom Toretto's car is on a cliff edge surrounded by evil cars, like that one meme with all the guys surrounding the girl on the couch that I don't know what it implies. Yeah, if I ever find out what that is, I'm sure I'll, be scandalized or whatever, but whatever it's about. And
could be anything.
Jimon Hansu shows up.
Jimon.
Yeah.
He commands all of these mercenaries.
He does. God, they're just criminally underused in this movie.
But
He's like, hello, I'm here to do one of my 2 scenes in this movie.
Yeah, point and go kill that guy. Most of what he does.
Yeah. And then Dom whips up a big dust cloud. He calls up the powers of storm. And then just drives off a cliff, rolls the car a billion times.
He does Butch and Sundance with no river. And just kind of
He's fine. He walks it off. Yeah.
This is something that I noted over the course of this, is that Dom Toretto is no longer just Cars Jesus. He's now sort of Kratos in a lot of ways. He's kind of like he's got some more powers.
He has gravity powers.
He's got some more powers.
Yeah. He just totally walks away from this. No, again, the airbags don't go off.
Yeah.
Also, Ramsey walks away from it.
Yeah, with her eyeliner intact. I want crash-proof eyeliner. Anyway,
Ramsey, by the way,
I can
Natalie
recommend
Emmanuel.
you. So now that I can finally reveal that I am in House of the Dragon Season 3, I can tell you that there was a moment when we were filming it where a wave cannon went off in my face and blew all of my makeup off except my mascara. So if you want like super waterproof mascara, Lancome mascara is, if you get hit in the face with a wave cannon, that mascara will stay where it is.
What's it called?
Lancome.
Oh, okay, sure. Okay.
And if you have a less waterproof mascara, that's a really quick and easy way to just take all your makeup off at the end of the day.
Juicing up the water cannon. Yeah. So, so Ramsey is not a character, right?
Ramsey's not a character.
She's hot. She's British. She's like, oi, bruv,
she's a TERF because she's like life is binary. Everything is either one thing or the other thing. I'm just like, all right.
Yeah. She says life is binary, and I am so sorry, bitch. But if you don't have at least a them in those fucking pronouns, you are fucking me up. I can see you.
I don't think not on this fucking podcast. It's not.
She's like, I mailed my flash drive to Abu Dhabi, the coolest place in the world to go on holiday or open a small business.
And I wrote, please go to Abu Dhabi
right now, present year, time of recording.
Yeah, if you're listening to this, get on a plane right now.
Yeah.
We get a really funny drop, if I had drops, from Dom, where he just says, we're going to the Middle East.
He goes, we're going to the Middle East. And I'm like, let's fucking go. And we get all of the shots. Ooh, there's sand, there's camels, and then it slowly pans up, and there's a city right there in the desert. Whoa!
Yeah.
Don't you want to go to that city in the desert?
Town. Look at all these women in bikinis everywhere.
And it took me a little bit of research, but I do have a joke here. I've got لماذا لا تذهبوا إلى الفلك يمكنك الحصول على شوارما كومبو مقابل 15 dirhams يا لكوة. Which I think is broadly accurate.
Well done, Kevin. That's fantastic work. This is a high effort podcast.
It's a high effort podcast. You got a shawarma combo for 15 dirhams.
Also, there's a scene on the plane where Dom tells Paul Walker, "Hey, you shouldn't be in these movies anymore," and Paul Walker's like, "Yeah, maybe not."
We'll see. Yeah, I'm starting to think that. We'll see how I feel by the end.
We do the bikini shots again in Abu Dhabi.
Yeah. Yeah, there's just so many women with their asses out in Abu Dhabi, and I'm like,
ass.
So we go to like Arab fixer character, just not a character, right?
But first, Ramsey comes out of the ocean in a bikini so that Roman and Ludacris can be like, damn titties.
Yeah, life isn't binary. I just decided. Yeah, Roman and Ludacris are like fighting over her like dogs over a scrap.
This is the first like big example of the thing that this movie tries to do of having its cake and eating it, right? But it will have two characters that it explicitly tells you are cool, be misogynistic to a woman, and then have a third character go, yo, you can't do that.
Hey, don't say that. Yeah. But it's like epic though. It's not like that's wrong to say about someone. But, like,
and it's like
that is a poison to your soul and theirs to think about another human being like that. They're just like, no, she'll kill you.
You're still friends with them. Yeah, also she has to be sort of like violent in self-defense. So like Safad, the like Arab fixer character who isn't really a character, goes, I tried to call dibs on her once and she kneed me in the balls so hard I exploded or whatever. And it's like, that's fucking epic, dude.
Okay.
What about how... we're teaching a bunch of people here like, oh, when women don't like it when you treat them like shit, they like sort of like violent towards you rather than like most of the time of just being sort of like constrained by social pressures to have to accommodate that shit in a way that doesn't cause you to enact violence on us. Anyway,
ridiculous.
The guy is like, you have to go to the next location, which is these three like gigantic towers that I hope the IRGC fly shade drones into.
Dom Toretto's going to beat them to it, I think. But so the device, the whatever device, is inside a different device that I gave to a billionaire, and he put it in his car, which is on the Brazilian floor of the big skyscraper. So
the Brazilian floor? No, the Emiratius floor.
This isn't Brazil.
Brazil.
This is Brazil. This isn't Brazil.
This isn't Brazil.
This is Brazil. We're going to the Middle East. This isn't Brazil.
This is London.
Thank you, Rita Ora. So
Since from London have followed us home.
The guy's like, you got to get into this guy's party that he's having to celebrate, I guess, the longest day of the year. But you can't go dressed like that. We've got to get you a fit. And they put Dominic Toretto in a suit with the biggest collar I've ever seen on a human.
Sick.
Yeah.
It's really good, unfortunately.
Dominic Tuxedo?
So, Dominic Tuxedo, who has a sort of collar the height of his own head. And they go to this party, right? They got gold women from Goldfinger.
Yeah, they got the gold women from Goldfinger. They got money.
Yeah, fucking women as props. Women dancing around in thongs.
There's a supercar up on the floor that they're on, and they go, why the fuck would you put a supercar in a tower? Are you insane? And the line
like
is, he's a
wrong.
billionaire, he can do whatever he wants.
It's like wrong to do that, you know? But
it's kind of wrong to cage a bird like that.
We treat Roman as the sort of comic relief here. He's both horny and useless.
Ronda Rousey is here. I saw her.
Ronda Rousey is here, leading a group of all-female bodyguards. Very good fighter, acting.
She's got 2 lines, and she says all of the constituent words that are in the lines.
As I said last time, we did the same fight scene because it was the same movie. One of my favorite eras in the UFC was 2 cis women throwing elbow strikes and calling each other trannies. And
they do that
Ronda
again.
Rousey was a central part of that, and I just want to celebrate that legacy of transphobia.
The music is turned down for what, by the way? Just don't know if you called that.
There's a specific thing. I've talked about this a million times. My main touch point for this is a film called The Night Comes for Us, right? Which is like a kind of similar to The Raid in a lot of ways, which does a really interesting, what you would sort of tediously call girl-on-girl fight scene, right? Partly because it shares in this thing that a lot of things have, which is like, you can't, unless you are Die Hard 4 and you don't give a fuck, you can't have a man beat the shit out of a woman on screen, right? That's too real. So you have to contrive some circumstances where like epic women are fighting each other, and that's what they do here, right?
Yes.
The Lety versus Gina Carano fight was better in the last
exactly.
one.
The Night Comes for Us is a good example of using that to effect. This is a bad one. It's just not
from
good.
the second you see Ronda Rousey, like there is one person in this movie that she's gonna fight. Like there's no way they're not gonna make her fight Vince, like Vin Diesel. They're not gonna make her fight anyone else. It's just, this is to give Lety something to do in the scene.
It's not gonna be Elena either because she's babysitting at this point.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not gonna be Mia because she's babysitting at this point.
Roman has to create a distraction, which he does with misogyny, and Ludacris is like, oh, I know he didn't just say that, which is having your cake and eating it again because you're still friends with him and you're still
putting it
hang out,
in the movie. You're putting it in the movie and being like, can he say that? Yeah, he can. And it's cool. It's fucking epic. It's epic. Don't you want this? Don't you literally want this? Look at this party right now. This is what was used right here. This promise is what was used to dangle in the faces of the Gulf states to make them abandon Palestine. The purpose of a scene like this in the most popular movie ever made, or whatever it was when it came out, is to be like, look at that. Isn't this what you want? Isn't this fucking petro-state, Gulf monarchy, slave state bullshit what you want to live at the top of?
Oh, I mean, they were on that for a long time.
What?
It didn't...
Shahid. That, like, you're fucked. It's over.
Yeah, man. Not gonna happen.
The dream is dead.
Yeah, it didn't stop them from, like, sort of, like, funding whoever in Syria or, like, in Yemen or in Sudan. Some of the worst fucking governments on earth. Anyway.
Yeah,
they have to take the car.
Because it's a movie that used to have cars in it. And so they look at the car and they go, oh, that's a fucking Dick Suck Motors super fuck. And I'm like, amazing. Fantastic. I love this.
Cool. Great.
The way that they use it is they get in the car and then they have to, like, they can't turn off the car and the car has to speed out of the thing and Dom has to jump the car from one tower to another tower to a third tower, perfectly 9/11ing the Terracotta Army.
Yeah, he does 9/11 to the UAE. But also, just before that, someone comes up in the lift. Ding! Who is it? Frank Transporter, baby!
It's Frank Transporter. He's here to make the scene.
He's here to make the scene worse with a gun.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they jump from one building to the next. It's kind of cool. Just before they jump, another line that I would have loved us to have, Vin Diesel goes, "Time to unleash the beast."
Cool.
Yeah.
They crash through the towers.
They jump to the second one.
Me when I'm about to play a live show to 300 people at the Unethical Society.
Time to unleash the beast, baby.
There's this one bit here where Paul Walker has a really CGI face. I'm like, ooh.
For sure.
So there's a bit here where it's like the GTA-ification of this, where it's just like mission complete, right? Where they get the thing, they bring the thing to Kurt Russell. Kurt Russell's like, cool, thank you for the thing.
This is the moment where, like, this should be the moment where Kurt Russell's like, and now I will betray you all. And instead he's just like,
he's got a guy with a gun right there.
Yeah, and he's just like, thank you so much for delivering me the super device. Now let us do with it exactly what I said we would do with it 3 scenes ago. Over to you.
As promised, you can now use it to find Frank Transporter. Goodbye.
Yeah.
Huh? What?
You can trust the CIA to hold up their end of the bargain 100% of the time.
Even they seem pretty. They're like, really? You?
Yeah, it's like question mark, question
okay.
mark.
I
Kurt?
thought you were going to betray me. What?
The third act
Kurt,
twist,
what are you doing?
where it's just the third act is just straight. There's no twist.
Yeah. This movie just ends. Yeah.
The thing is, mass surveillance is amazing and works, right? And so in the right hands,
here is the second half of the 2-step process where it's like, look what you can have if you just stop caring about human beings and just accept the money. This is what you can have. Look at how fun it is. No, it's not. It looks like shit. But also, resistance is impossible. You, as a citizen of the Earth, are under total surveillance by your government, by the CIA, by whatever. So wouldn't you rather just ignore all of that shit and do the bauble stuff? You know? It's this is what is being like shoved down the throat of everyone who watched this, which my understanding is everyone watched this movie when it came out.
Yeah, 10 years ago. It's everyone who's like a normal age now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the world that you live in. If you don't remember 2015, the world that you live in was built by this sentiment.
Yeah.
It's the Batman device.
They use it to track Frank Transporter too, and this is fascinating to me. An automated factory with no people, which is
cool.
Yeah, that's always the fantasy, isn't it? You know?
Guess what? That's not going to happen either. You're in the UAE. You're telling me there's no slaves? Come on.
I misheard it. I thought it was an automotive factory.
Would also be funny. But so they drive out with the CIA SWAT team, and they do the like gun cocking, get ready to roll bit. And I always think when I hear the line "get ready to rock and roll," I think about a guy in the back of the SWAT van with an acoustic 12-string, being like, "Boss, I only know how to folk and roll. Is that okay?"
I know how to talk and roll.
Yeah, I know how to pop and lock.
I don't know how to talk, let alone roll.
But they get there, and then they're gonna arrest Frank Transporter, and then he like threatens to just kill himself.
This is really good. Yeah, he's eating dinner. He's like sat at his table. They all walk in.
Did you see the dinner? Did you catch the dinner?
Tell me about the dinner before I talk about.
So they're like, "I hope you're enjoying your last meal. My man is eating a cucumber salad with balsamic vinegar. Does it look like he's enjoying it?"
I mean. He's watching his figure. Good for him. I guess he had to eat a bunch of that for the shooting.
Yeah,
It's just like, give me cucumbers. I only want to be eating cucumbers.
Really tart
and what he
flavors.
Does, he picks up his like napkin and like dabs his mouth, and he's got a grenade of a napkin, and he like grabs the pin in his teeth as he's wiping his face, and he pulls it away, and you see him with the pin. Sick.
Never don't
that
have a
fun.
grenade
That's
on
really
you.
sick.
But also, it's just like, you're just gonna kill yourself, man.
Oh my god. He's going to kill himself.
He's like, I also have friends, Jimon Hansu and his boys.
Yes, he's made an alliance with Jimon Hansu. So Jimon Hansu and his boys rock up. Kurt Russell gets like 15 seconds of doing one cool thing, and then just gets fucking owned.
He gets to activate the night vision sunglasses from Spy Kids 3D, and then gets shot.
Yeah, he like does a flip and shoots someone, and then they just kill him.
Really
but he doesn't die; they just shoot him.
I'm starting to think this guy isn't the villain at all.
Yeah.
What?
And then he's like, Dominic Toretto, you have to protect Gordon Ramsay, because they're going to try and kill her now. She's the only one who can turn off the device, which they now have because we brought it with us. For some reason, they now have it.
Yeah. They evacuate him. He's been wounded.
Dominic Toretto's like, I'm really sorry about the disruption of the production schedule. We'll bring you back in a future movie. We promise.
There's an interesting kind of artifact of the global war on terror here, where he has this kind of cool, like, lamellar body armor, which I suspect is referencing a thing called dragon skin. That like
looks like it, doesn't it? It's kind of like scaly.
It's like the weird dildos.
The company like went bankrupt after like a few years, but the deal was they were trying to sell it to the military, and the military tested it, and it didn't work very well. But a bunch of like special forces and CIA guys got really invested in how cool it was. Just a weird little time capsule. Anyway, not very important. Does Dom's like cross necklace get handed back here at some point? Because I have
Foghorn Leghorn gave it to him.
Thank you, because I have a note here that says that cross has been bouncing around like scabies in a polycule. Like it goes between like 5 or 6 different people at this point. It's like it's
glad
bad.
I'm not doing polyamory anymore. I didn't know that was
yeah.
right.
I've very much been enjoying someone in the comments I saw refer to it as his blessed amulet that grants immortality, and I've been thinking of it as that the whole time now.
I would say so.
It's amulet.
So they're like, okay, GMI House is going to come and kill Gordon Ramsay. We care about this because of reasons. So we're going to have to face them on the streets. We know. LA, baby.
War is coming.
Yeah, they're being hunted, right? So Paul Walker calls Mia, who is like doing childcare.
She's like,
and he's like, if you don't hear from me in 24 hours, make the rest of the movies and move on without me. Get a Wiz Khalifa song, you know?
Yeah.
Like, and
says, if I die in this movie, keep making these movies.
Yeah, please.
She's like, I'm prego.
I remember when I got that horrible sandwich instead of a cheeseburger and fries at Fatburger for $5.99, faggot.
It's like, Mia, I'm so glad I didn't go to Fatburger and get a burger and fries for $5.99, faggot. I'm so happy that
I mean, being in that kind of relationship, you do just end up saying shit like that to your wife. So yeah,
you do. No, I like this. You know what? I'm willing to be like, this was nice. This was heartfelt.
Yeah.
In that they had to do it afterwards.
It is interesting, right? Because they are like, we got to go back to the place where we're from and we know, Los Angeles, California, where we have like home field advantage, but they don't rely on community or indeed anything distinctive about LA. It's just backdrop, right? Like Dom goes home.
You're so right. Also, another thing I've noticed about like so many of these movies are like take place in LA at summer, but it is never Pride. And like one of the big things about Los Angeles is that like possibly more than any other city on earth, they go fucking big in Pride Month. It is everywhere. These movies, always summer, never Pride. It's like fucking Chud Narnia.
Dom goes back home. He gets the BDS Dodge Challenger back in town.
It still says BDS on it. It still says
BDS free Palestine. Inshallah, we will drift from the river to the sea. But
this podcast has just been made illegal in Australia. Meanwhile, Frank Transporter is like suiting up in his Aston Martin, getting ready to also be epic.
I don't want a drift king. I just want like a sort of like democratic government with human rights for everyone that is able to elect a drift president.
Yes,
right?
I want a secular drift head of state. You know?
I think so. Absolutely.
Well, clearly there's only one way to solve the Israel-Palestine conflict once and for all, and that's with an illegal street race.
Smart.
This is the plot of Fast and Furious 15.
Yeah.
What they get is the GTA Online public server experience in that they load into Los Angeles and are immediately hunted down by a guy with an attack helicopter and a drone who spent too much of his money and his free time on doing this.
Yes. Tej comes up with the brilliant idea of, well, I'll let Ramsey's line read us out. She said, "Hacking my hacking device, brilliant." This is a great scene for lines that include the word hack, such as Ramsey, start the hack. Sir, I think we're being hacked. Reinitiate the hack. Or things of this nature.
It also becomes football at some point, right? Like because like Dom, or rather like Brian says, I need to lateral at some point. Someone calls Roman special teams. This is an interest, and then we cut to The Rock watching football from his hospital bed. Yeah, this is a couple of things, right? One, this is an interesting contrast to Tokyo Drift's contempt for the footballman, right? But it's also kind of like how you can tell my transitory special interest from listening to my podcasts. It's like, oh, what's the thing she found a way to like shoehorn into this one? She must be into this lately, right? Well, by the same token, these were football people when they made this, I guess.
Yeah, sure.
Also, we get a drop of someone saying, Brian, they took out the tower, which...
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
So did you. You guys took out 2 towers.
Yeah, you took out 2 towers.
The Rock sees all this happening on the news and he busts out of his cast and says, Elena will babysit you because she's a woman. She's not even in this scene, but like, Daddy's got to go to work now, sweetheart. And I'm the Rock. Cool.
I've got to go be the ghost in the machine that's going to make Devon very unsatisfied at the end of this.
If the Rock were an ambulance, he would be the biggest one, and so he gets the biggest, most chud American ambulance. So it's a truck, right?
Yeah.
Like it's
Yank ambulance, the
Yankbulance, yeah.
The Yankbulance.
The Yank Dom ambulance has got to go crazy though. But
Get my dog now.
So.
I'm saying. Incidentally,
Nina.
Dom is like, he ends up in a parking garage having a fight with Frank Transporter. Remember how a few movies ago Dom was filled with like regret and shame for having beaten a guy with a tire iron because he like lost control of his anger?
Shit, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Now he has 2 tire irons.
Yeah, he loses control of his anger, beats a guy with 2 tire irons. He's like, this is way better.
Inexplicably begins dual wielding.
Yeah.
There's a bit where the Rock grabs a minigun to like fend off the drone, and the line is he says, I think it's to Lety, woman, I am the cavalry. Except the best take that they got, he says, woman, I am the cavalry. Splitting the difference between the hill on which they crucified Jesus and a guy on horseback.
I'm the cavalry.
Woman, I'm the cavalry. Put it in the movie.
No one can fucking say their lines anymore at this point. Everyone's got cotton mouth or like, send in the cavalry. Oh.
We get another Tony Jaa fight scene.
Which
does
sick.
One interesting thing, which is
the door thing. That
door thing, riding a door that gets kicked down a flight of stairs. Inventive enough to get ripped off by John Wick. So they
ride a door down a comically long staircase. Good.
Yeah. Pretty good. Pretty good.
Paul Walker does the too slow and kicks him down a lift shaft.
Reverses it. Tony Jaa moving through this industrial environment like he's like jumping over the tops of things. Very good.
Pretty good.
Mr. Parkour, love it.
Ramsey, start the hack. Someone says send in the Predator, and they send in the Predator drone. I want to talk about the drone for a little bit because this just continues to go to my wider point, which is a great man once said, media under capitalism is inherently fascist. All of this is fascist. Sorry to offend.
Fascist dreck, I believe.
Neo-feudal dreck. Fucking Harry Potter's back on HBO.
Yeah.
But this is not what a drone does. They are portraying this drone as pursuit in the way that an FPV drone is, right? On like street level coming after you. This is a Predator drone. It's supposed to sit in the sky a kilometer off and just like take out a hospital. Like it is this being in the show and it being the like climax that they've moved up from the tank to the drone, and this is what they think about it, is they want you to think that this is this unstoppable killing machine. Because if you're in 2015, you already know that America polices its colonies through drones. This is something that was under discussion. Like Obama was the big drone guy, and this is 2015. So like we all know already. So to put this in the movie and then to misrepresent what it is capable of is another way of just being like, look how unstoppable America is.
Yeah. Also, normal person seeing FPV drone first person view, my brain first past the Vost.
Yeah, first past the Vost drone. Because Dom and Frank Transporter are fighting on top of a parking garage, and the Jivon Hansu fires a missile at them, which misses, but which cracks the floor. And Dom's epic line is, the thing about street fights is cracking the thing, so the Frank Transporter falls. The street always wins. To which I immediately hit this isn't the street. I'm in a parking garage.
Yeah. This is private property.
On the second floor of a parking garage, man. And he stamps on the ground and it like collapses the parking garage.
Well, because he had his amulet. He's got his amulet back.
Yeah, he's got his amulet. He's more powerful now. So he uses his gravity powers.
It's a piece of Eden. He's in the Assassin's Creed universe. But so Dom, he's then like caught, right? Because he can chase down Frank Transporter, who has fallen maybe to death, but you've never seen a body, so he's not dead, right? Or he can rescue Lety and Gordon Ramsay, who are taking fire from the like helicopter.
Jim and Houndsie mobile,
he chooses Fambily over revenge.
He does.
Notes that Frank Transporter has brought a Tesco bag for life full of grenades with him to the street fight.
Very nice.
Always bring a grenade to a street fight.
Smart, yeah. He just loves a grenade. Frank Transporter.
That's the right answer for the most calorie-heavy meal deal. Is grenade main,
It's just
grenade
7
snack,
grenades.
grenade drink. You can get a
pack of
grenade snack.
grenades. Yeah.
You can get a grenade bar, yeah.
Yeah, they got 2 grenades in there.
My next note just says helicopter cells seething at the BDS Dodge.
Yes.
Yeah, because he ramps the Dodge towards the helicopter and then chucks the grenades into it.
Yeah.
Blows up Cheatman Hound, so yeah.
Like Jesus would have done.
Yeah, sure.
Catches the grenades bag on one of the runners of the helicopter. So it looks like he doesn't quite hit it, but actually the fucking bag's up there. And then the Rock shoots the bag and gets it in like 2 hits, which is ridiculous. I would have put some tension in there, Christ. But no, he just goes, bap, 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 and it explodes.
Yeah.
And that's the villain
Dom is now Car Jesus in the sense that he is dead.
Yes.
And so Brian tries to do CPR on him, and Lety pushes him out of the way and is like,
CPR is gay.
The CPR he was doing wasn't right either.
I'm his Dom, right?
Yeah.
I know what I'm about, right? And she's remembering so hard. She's remembering shit we haven't even seen, right? Like
I literally wrote down Dom, I remember it all as a joke, and then a second later she fucking says it.
Verbatim.
She says, Dom, I even remember when we got married.
Yeah.
Just to make it explicit. She's like, and in their wedding vows, which we flash back to, she says, if you die, I die. Which is such a fucking,
I'll kill myself.
It's such a pure distillation of the Carol Pateman principle that the women in these movies exist for men. She literally exists for him.
She literally is begging him on the ground, don't die, because then I'll have to die and I'm not ready to yet. Like a fucking Egyptian pharaoh's slave.
Yeah.
What is happening? Yeah. Don't bury me with Dom.
Really, really funny to be in a, I guess, Dominican, presumably Catholic church, being like, the couple have written their own car-based and mutually suicidal vows, which I guess we're like, cool
we're gonna
with.
Listen to these vows and go, okay, I guess. Yeah, this shows the priest's face and he's going, I don't know about
this works, right? Like, yeah, it's like Pete Postlethwaite in Romeo plus Juliet. So anyway, so he like Dom is risen, right? Hallelujah. And
Dom goes, it's about time, when she says that she remembers.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, man.
Cool, whatever.
And she goes, why didn't you tell me we were married? And he says, because you can't tell someone they love you. So, sure.
Fine. You know what? That's actually a pretty good reason to not tell this amnesiac woman that you're married.
I guess so.
Yeah.
Jason Statham,
being quite pushy though.
Frank Transporter gets arrested and they put him in the spreader bar from Secretary.
Yeah. They put him in prison.
Yeah, I don't know.
Why'd they do that? That's not standards. Like, look, that's just for fun. Why'd you do that? They
decided to do that. They were like, fuck it.
Yeah.
The Rock is like, stay here until we need you for another movie. He gets some more fucking smarmy ass lines off. He's like, if you break out of here, my fist will be waiting for you. I'm like, oh, okay. Will it?
Yeah.
Is that a promise?
If you break out of here, we'll get your Dom.
It's been a long day without you.
It has.
And
now we get to this bit.
The second the music started coming in, I was like, oh my god.
We're not there yet.
We're not quite there yet because we've got a little scene on the beach.
We cut to the beach and Paul Walker is in the distance with Amir and his kid. They're playing in the surf with his family. And everyone in the family stops and is just like, well, that's beautiful. Brian's really happy with his family here.
I guess we're losing him to happy ending, you know?
Yeah.
Here's my big problem with this. Lenses are too fast now. Okay? They're shooting these guys on like a 1.2... like wide open. I can't see the background at all. I can only see a crisp Roman Pierce going, things are going to be different now. And like, what am I supposed to take from that?
That's because this was shot on a green screen.
Yeah,
all of it was shot on a green screen.
This isn't a real beach, But
like, well, I guess that's my major complaint.
They're indoors and underground.
Try shooting at f8 on a fucking beach. All right, how about that?
Yeah. But so the family decides we're going to leave Paul Walker behind to be with Mia, who I guess also isn't going to be in these movies anymore.
Yeah, no, Mia's
right.
Also,
yeah, he doesn't get to like hang out with us anymore because he gets this happy ending. And Dom drives away, and this is where we get the it's been a long day.
How can we not talk about family when family's all that we got?
Where Paul,
we get the meme
horrifying stretched texture of Paul Walker's face on someone who is not Paul Walker pulls up driving a car next to him and says in approximately Paul Walker voice, you think you could get away without racing
without saying
me?
goodbye? Yeah.
Without saying
there's a
goodbye.
nice touch, which is that he's in a white car and a white t-shirt, so we're like kind of acknowledging that he's going to car heaven. And also, I watched this movie in 360 of God's own pee, and therefore I didn't really notice that like the face was like not looking good.
I watched these on a very big screen.
It's bad. They reused the same shot twice.
It was 2015. Like Weta Workshop had 6 months to do this. It's like
Most of the time the CGI
job.
works, but these two shots are genuinely quite uncanny. It's like the Pierce Brosnan and 007 racing. It's also, if you don't know that Paul Walker is dead in the sort of canon of the Fast and Furious movies, this is Dom Toretto being sad that his best friend isn't gonna go on adventures with him anymore because he has to hang out with his wife instead of with his family, which
also
very
if you don't know that
instinct.
as the kind of movie fades to white, it says as he drives away into the sunset, it says for Paul.
Sure,
and like,
but I just
yeah. Fine.
So, listeners, if you weren't around at the time, this was like a major meme moment. People made people made fun of this scene a lot, but like,
it's the first
I found it quite genuinely touching. Like, it's clear they really loved him.
It does kind of suggest that settling down and having kids is equivalent to death. It does that inadvertently. But
it does reinforce that. Yeah, it's hard to make fun of this because obviously everyone who made this really liked Paul Walker and were really affected by his untimely death.
Like ludicrous
and
is
so this is
what
so
he says
heartfelt.
is really moving. Yeah, it's really sincere. Like
yes, but you know our thoughts about Paul. So
his beloved car will be his grave.
Car will be his grave.
But it is actually. I was actually quite moved by the ending of Fast and the Furious 7, a sentence I didn't expect to leave my mouth. But I think it's, and also the fact that they got his brothers to be his stand-in. I think that's actually kind of beautiful.
Nice as well. That's very family.
Yeah. I think it's quite sweet.
And they don't do a mid-credit scene, I guess, because they thought that would be gauche. It would be disrespectful to have a third English brother be introduced.
I think they're right.
Is even harder, brother.
I'm extra hard.
Vinnie Jones.
Don't know whether this is true, but I have heard that they're thinking about bringing Paul Walker back in the new one.
But how?
With the power of AI.
They can bring him back with oh god.
I don't know whether that's true, but if it is, it would really undermine this. And then...
I have an unkind thought, right? Which is that I kind of feel like you can in this line of work die before you actually die, like before you have your sort of car wrapped around a lamppost death. And I feel like they had been trying to get rid of Paul Walker for a long time. Like he was kind of checked out of the past couple of movies, but kind of to an extent everyone was. And part of the reason why I feel so like negatively about this movie is, I jokingly said that like if one of your leads can die and it doesn't really affect the movie beyond a 6-month delay, what use was them being alive? But like it is purely mechanical at this point. Like they are making same movie. You may as well do the thing that they actually do of reusing old shots from previous movies. Like I just at a certain point it becomes collage. And that's a really grim thought. And I guess like trying to think about this as a movie as opposed to like, a fun thing to talk over with my friends is there's kind of nothing there. It certainly doesn't bear any resemblance to like any of the early ones. It's just kind of like commodity, and it has no defining features beyond, I don't know, some of the workers in it were sad that one of their colleagues died, I guess.
Well, you may be upset to know that this was at the time one of the most expensive movies ever made and one of the most profitable movies
ever made.
Shall
I read these numbers right now just for us?
Please. Also, when you read out the numbers on the last one, the noise I made it sound like I fucking came.
It did a little,
It was so much money.
It was a lot of money. And, okay, $250 million budget for this, okay? At the time, one of the most expensive movies ever made, maybe even the box office take $1.5 billion.
Oh my god!
You'd better fucking believe they made another one. Can you imagine?
$1.5 billion?
$1.5 billion.
Holy shit, dude.
And
that is a fucking Hollywood movie.
Everyone saw this. Everyone saw it, and it's fascist, and it reinforces ideology that has made the world so much worse and so much eviler.
Yeah. This is the thing. If you make a movie this successful, you can't not do that. You become it's just the structure happens to you. You know? And so that's why it's like lowest common denominator .wmv.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and unfortunately, that is why I need us to talk about the rest of these movies.
And that's kind of a shame when you think about like this is something that happened to like a kind of Point Break ripoff. And like a fun movie about drift racing that liked cars. They don't like cars anymore. They don't like anything. It's not about anything.
Before they start making these, they Google most expensive car year of production that this movie comes out, sort by most, and then be like, we have to have those 5 definitely in the movie. Those 10 maybe. Like, they don't care about cars anymore. This is like, they only cared about cars in the third one, was it?
Tokyo Drift cared about cars in that you could see the cars do something interesting and special. The drift from Tokyo Drift, and go, I get it. You like that car because like you decorated it and customized it, and you can do this cool thing with it.
There's no fucking Hulkmobiles in this, are there? Like no one's having fun.
You never actually see them working on cars anymore. Like they used to be that they would do the thing of like, we need a real special car for this, and then you see Vin Diesel like wrenching on the car or whatever. And then in the last one, they had a legitimately kind of inventive like flip car, but that was inventive for the movie, not within the movie, right? So we don't see anything about it, and so they continue that with this one, where it's like, okay, we need to parachute some cars out of a plane. That's a really impressive stunt, right? It's impressive to have done. It's impressive to have filmed. But to actually watch it, there's no character to it because no one's invested in it. It's just Mr. CIA gives them the cars and they parachute the cars out of the thing.
100%. And like Tej as well.
See them
like he was
too easy.
He was the big cars guy. Like he ran the fucking races in the movie he was introduced in. Like he used to own a garage. He had a garage. One of his dreams in the fourth one, I think, fifth maybe, was to open a garage with the money. And now he's just on his phone the whole time. Like that's what's happened to this guy, is he's no longer a mechanic. He's just a hacker. And what we think a hacker is a guy who's on his phone.
Where's Suki, man? Where's your girlfriend, Suki?
You can die of success.
Yeah.
I watch Debs. Like
I look forward to that.
Terrifying prospect to me.
It's coming.
God. No, I just, if I ever feel that checked out of anything, I need someone to, I don't even know what, just, I don't know.
Give you $1.5 billion and then you'll feel better?
But that's
I
my
don't know
problem.
If I would,
These
though.
motherfuckers are being paid multiple millions and they aren't even showing up to work. Like, what the fuck did Tej do this episode? Like, did anyone have an arc? Did he think?
He wasn't given much to do, yeah. The stunt team are fucking turning up to work.
He wasn't given anything to do, but what he was given was millions and millions of dollars.
Yeah.
And like,
the stunt team are working hard.
The stunt team are working hard. The stunt team, the visual effects, the guys that actually do the car shit that we talked about that they used to do in the movie, but now they do for the movie. Those guys
with the computer,
are doing something.
That's another thing that kind of offends me about it too, is that I feel like you're wasting those people's labor. Like, okay, it's very financially rewarding, but like the stunt is the idea to me of doing a stunt like that is. It's incredible, not just because you go to the movies to see some shit that you've never seen before in your life, but you see it in a framework that contextualizes it and you go, whoa, that's amazing. Fucking James Bond or whatever flipped that car over the thing. When everyone is so visibly checked out, including the people on the script who like have to like sell that, then it doesn't signify anything. And it's just, it's the kind of thing that turns movies into clips on YouTube, which is how most people are going to end up consuming films. And that's
you might be right.
Terrifying.
I don't really care about any of these characters anymore.
No.
I liked Dom Toretto. I liked Dom Toretto in the first one. He was like, I regret having beaten that man almost to death. I don't know why I did it, and I'm on a quest to understand why I did that to myself. That was compelling. Now I'm just like, Who is this man?
The only one I give even the remotest shit about anymore is Michelle Rodriguez as Lety. Like, I used to love Roman. Nothing at all to do.
She's the only one who's close to being a person in this, and then just stops.
There's a bit in this where Ramsey is introduced to the team, and she refers to them all by their archetypes, right?
Yeah.
And it's just like tipping your hand, and just everything about this is leading you to the place of a sort of minute of it being clipped onto TikTok with an AI-generated voice explaining the plot to you in a way that's also wrong. Like,
which is bullshit, because that's our job.
That's what we're here for.
But we don't have to just rate this automotively.
No, we
that
have
is true.
a science-based system. It's called the SCUM system. It stands for SMARM, cultural insensitivity, unprovoked violence, and misogyny. And I kind of feel like it's insufficient to cover the kind of spiritual and filmic poverty of this film, but on a scale of 0 to 7, how smarmy is Furious 7?
Now, here's the thing. I think this movie is very smarmy, but we also take points off for sincerity.
Do you know what I want to do? What I want to do is I want to give this a 3.5 on everything and leave. Like, it is the most... average film.
Yeah, then
no, we got a job to do. So I think that it's at least as smarmy as the last one, which we gave 7
it definitely
but it is a lot more
7.
sincere. I think I want to take some points off for that ending. I was moved by that. How do we feel about a 5?
It seems insufficient. It seems insufficient, especially for the street always wins thing, right?
Yeah, it has to be a 6 because of the having your cake and eating it thing.
I'm willing to chop some points off for the sincerity, but I think 6 is really
okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Cultural insensitivity.
It is insensitive to every culture because it has none of its own. It's like a vampire.
It is the culture that it represents is international capital. These people are too rich to have a home country. They're in the Dominican Republic. They're in Abu Dhabi. They're in LA. Like, it doesn't matter anymore. What culture?
That's a really good point, Dev. Like, yeah, the culture represents its international capital.
Yeah, like
it belongs to the international country of wealth. You know,
exactly.
You know that like completely air-conditioned white and grey hotel room that Matt Damon ends up in Syriana. That's kind of where this is. You
kind
know?
of is insulting to every culture.
It's where all these guys were filming, like
because it flattens all of them into money.
Yeah,
6.
Yeah, you're not seeing the cool subcultures of anywhere. You're seeing like, we've gone to a country. Here's the rich guys in that country. Aren't they cool? Let's go to another country.
Here's the ass and the rich guys in the hotels.
Here's some of the poorer women in this country, and here's the rich guys. And let's go. Let's get out of here. Like, oh my god!
Unprovoked violence. The Rock has a minigun now.
He kills Jim on Hounsey with it, which
he does.
Dominic Toretto no longer regrets his violence.
I want to give it some points.
That's a real shame. That's a real shame that they've done that. And also, the violence that Jason Statham does at the start, we are invited to think that it's cool.
Yeah. Dominic Toretto is cool. Like sort of jousting with wrenches like a kind of like car samurai. He's like...
Which is such a shame, because that was an interesting aspect of his character. It's not even referenced.
Gone now. It's all gone.
It's all gone. It's all been washed away.
Yeah.
It's all money.
It's in the grand scheme of things,
5.
I would say it's relatively... 5.
The last one was a 4. I want to give it a point for getting rid of the only interesting thing about Dom.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
And finally, misogyny. I mean, for God's sake.
Yeah, I mean,
where do we fucking start?
This is the preeminent, like, trying to have it both ways thing. And it doesn't even... Weirdly, in some ways, the tokenistic thing of, here's Suki, she does the designs, she has a pink car, gives women more to do than the thing which is surface level women are respected members of the team. It's just that by chance, of screenwriting, they always end up having to do either the babysitting or one fight scene with a female UFC fighter.
Yeah, it's just crazy.
And then you find out that she literally exists for Dom. I think it's worse than the last one. And the last one was a 7. I think it's at least an 8. I could go as high as a 9.
Put it in punitive for sure.
Absolutely. I'd go 9 here then, yeah.
All right.
Okay.
In that case, that gives it a total score of 6, 12, 17, 26. Is that right?
I think so.
12 plus 5. I'm really bad at maths and I have a cold. That is 26. I was right. And that, I'm sorry to say, makes it the worst Fast and Furious movie we've seen.
That's really
it's jumped back up again.
Far.
That's that's very very, very bad. In a way, it was kind of saved by the fact that Paul Walker died, and because it clawed back a couple of points for sincerity. But my God, that's a bad score. That's really bad.
This is, I feel like this is an insult to life itself. You know, it's an insult to an art form that I care about profoundly.
Yeah,
it's an insult to me watching it, and
that is worse than every James Bond film except for the one where James Bond fights every black person in America.
That tracks, actually.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's almost as bad as Austin Powers 3.
I said I wasn't going to jerk myself off about being a film critic, right? But like, obviously, doing this podcast, I am not of the opinion that there's nothing useful to talk about in talking about bad movies or like, you know, mass market, in quotes, lowbrow movies, because James Bond is all of that, right? Yes. But like, this is a sort of data point on the long ski jump down to sort of mediocrity, right? And like, you saw that in some of the later Bonds, like the kind of spiritual poverty that Daniel Craig is now having to claw his way out of by doing weird queer shit, because there's only so many times you can adjust your shirt cuffs after a stunt scene before it starts eating you from the inside. But like, seeing it happen to this, it's been the lows have been lower in some ways, genuinely.
Yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame. It's not as bad as Sex and the City 2.
Yeah, which was 5 years earlier.
Sex and the City 2 at least had the saving grace of being racist with its chest. This is just kind of like, it doesn't even have the... It's too contemptuous to be like racist in the way that Sex and the City 2 is.
I think you're so right, Dev, about this being a movie that's for capitalists, for investors.
Exactly.
You didn't make this movie for people to watch. You made this movie so that $1.5 billion could come into existence, and that's a shame.
It's about heisting. It's about money, and now it's only about the money.
The ultimate heist is on us. You know, we're paying for. I paid £3 on to Jeff Bezos for this. You know,
well, that's on you. I didn't pay for it.
Yeah, it is on me. I am stupid, but I
did the same thing. But you know,
Jesus.
I wonder if the next one will be better.
Let's see if they can do anything better in the
Fast
Fate of the Furious. That's F8 of the Furious.
Oh, that's so clever.
The fate of the
the fate of the Furious. Tony Jaa gets a Kronstein rosette. There are probably some technical ones, but I don't care. Thank you so much. We have a Patreon.
Shit! I forgot to mention this, and I need to make sure because it brings my point to apotheosis. The drone kills a truck driver. The drone kills a truck driver. So, what are the truck drivers? Think about it. Next time, I'll kill James Bond.
Yeah,
that's right. We have a Patreon.
We do.
killjamesbond.com. Subscribe to it. Our next bonus episode is going to be... Is it going to be the Q&A? Or
the Q&A is next. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Our next bonus episode is going to be another beloved Q&A. We're going to A your Qs.
Wow.
So we hope to see you there. And if not, our next episode will be Fate of the Furious.
Yeah, the Fate
Bye,
of the Furious.
everyone.
Goodbye. Thank you for listening to yet another episode of Kill James Bond. Next episode in 2 weeks' time on the free feed will, of course, be Fast and Furious 8. The 8 of the Furious. But if that is simply too long for you to wait, then you can head on over to our Patreon, patreon.com/killjamesbond, all one word, and sign up today for as little as £5 a month. And that gives you access to at least 2 bonus episodes a month, as well as our entire backlog of 5 years of bonus episodes. And I gotta tell you, I stand by everything I said on all of them. They're all good still. But speaking, of course, of our beautiful Patreon supporters, we would be nothing without our £15 and above Patreon supporters, and those are Lo Bjornsdottir, Fenris Mayday, Candy Fox, No Name, Elspeth Hunt, Jordan Gammy, Nick Boris, Frankenstein, Hannah Oberhardt, No Name, a different one. A different second no name. George Rahak, Yarrick, Drone Lover, Live Free or Cry, Labor, Delenda Est, etc. Lexi, the Feral Trucker, Ian is staying dead this time. 5 more years. It seems like everyone's given up in these descriptions. This is crazy. Everyone who I know who changes their name has changed it to something like defeatist. Just within the first 20 of you. 5 more years. Jacques Laurent Zimmerman, Very Tired Therapist, Olivia Alexandra, Strong Goose, The Project, The Literal Month of April, Giganta0234, Library Hitman, Willie Shinmeyer, Jack Drummond, Saiga, Max Gemainhardt, Joseph Soche, Kill James Bond Highlights, Carl S. Trip, Banana Log, Panoptigoth, Tori's drunk off Baiju again. That's what's up. Okay, maybe okay. Rhododendron. Ashley, full name time. Danielle, Science Daddy. Chris Roth, some sort of awful song, L plus Rip Bozo. D. Oh, I see. You've been working me up to saying daddy this entire time, you piece of shit. Alright, fine. Daddy. Fast Andrea, Rubius 7. Helped people help people, Liz Rossi. Kakuden, Staz, Molly Powerslide. Bold ass for someone whose ass is in... bold words for someone whose ass is in kicking range. Athena V is Furiouser and Furiouser. Doctor, Mrs. the Gay Rat, Anne Hedonia. Robert De Niro, In Heat and I'm Not Apologizing. Claire Baker, Penile-Sparing Vaginoplasty. Joyous Uwu, 623. Saturdays Claire, Gender Swap Podcast, The People's Pillow, Princess's Fist. Arizona Frog Strangle, Lady Houndstooth, Ray, Maeve Victoria Roth, Vita Brava, Parasocial Butterfly. Anya the Nanigans, Lady Ariane, Rope Trick, Clairvoyance, Isopod Gal, John 2089. Clarification, Sengchen, Obsidian Polymer, Alex, Noblesse Oblahai. Autism is classified as a neurodevelopmental disorder. Woolscott, Liz and Ash of the University of Florida. Connor's cool big sister, Loz Pycock, the Duck Whisperer, Philippa is still catching up with KJV. Robert Greensmith, Abigail Carrier, Zoe Shepherd, Witch Hazel, Mistress Angela Ayles, Harriet McAvoy, Blunt Force Feminization Bat, Josh Simmons, Talkative Tiger, Turf Eat Shit and Die Alone, Al Irwin, Cassandra, Mega B, Emily Queen of Sloths, Elite Erin, and Lauren Bastin. Thank you all for being subscribers of the show. You help to keep it going without ads, and please, God, help us keep it going without ads. I don't want to have to do ads. You imagine how badly it would embarrass me to have to tell you to buy something that I don't even particularly like. I just won't do it. I've got integrity. President's Bond is November. Abigail and Devon. Our producer is the wonderful Mr. Nate Bethay. This podcast is edited by the fantastic Sam Martyrosian. Our podcast art is by John DeLuca, and our website is by Tom Allen. And I will see you next time.